Hello, hello. Let's see if the stream's working. Yeah, it's working. We're live. Alrighty. Well, hello everyone. Well, no one. Um, Welcome to my channel. Um, this channel will be about working with Rust and Godot. Well, that's the plan so far anyways. And we'll be doing heaps of game dev, hopefully. And now I am new to YouTube and streaming and all that, so I've tried it once before, but it'll take a while to get used to. But yeah, we'll just get started and take every day as it goes, as it comes. Um, so what I have right now in front of me, sorry if my voice sounds a bit weird. I'm a little sick. Um, but what I have in front of me is just a kind of like a new Arch install. It's not entirely. Um, I have opened this up before, but I don't think I've done much. I think I've maybe set up one keybind or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, what we'll be doing today is just going through the process of setting up Hyprland on and Arch Linux, and once we're done with that, hopefully we have time and we can get started on setting up the development environment for coding in Rust and building for building our Rust application, our Rust package out for Android successfully and doing live debugging via Godot on our phones. And yeah, that's our goal at the moment. So let's get started. So first thing we'll do is just go to ArchLinux and we'll go to, I guess, the installation guide. Okay, now this is we want to go to Hyprland, not Arch. Hyprland, let's just go type in Hyprland and let's see what we have on the site. I've never set up Hyprland myself. Previously what I did is I just looked up a pre-made setup script on GitHub, and I just ran that, and I had like the whole Linux rising thing going on. It's kind of cheating though. I had someone else's setup, but yeah. Now we'll try to do it manually ourselves. So let's see. Okay, so I don't think we'll be looking at the install instructions. We already have Hyprland in front of us. Um, just a little showcase of someone's rise. Easy to configure, live reloading config. Yeah, we'll just be configuring it. Just find the right place to get started. Uh, let's head over to the wiki. Hmm. Sorry, it just seems like my stream's bugging out on my phone. So, just trying to figure out if it's the internet or if it's YouTube. I think we're good. Hello there, dear traveler. Welcome to Hyprland Wiki. To the Hyprland Wiki, take a tour of the pages to the left and read the ones that you may need. This wiki is versioned. By default, you're reading the wiki for the latest Hyprland. Cool. How do we check our Hyprland version? I'm sure we're on the latest since we did run a. Let's run a up. Let's run a. Let's just update our system. There we go. Make sure we're up to date. Um, how do I Pacman check package version. Pacman Q package name. Check hyper. Let's open a new terminal window. Do hyper control version. Hyperlink 0.52.2. Okay. I wonder what the latest version is. Yeah, I think we're on the latest one. Cool. Let's get started. If you're coming to Hyprland for the first time, read the installation page. After you've installed Hyprland, read the master tutorial. Okay. Okay, so if you're coming to Hyperland for the first time, this is the main tutorial to read. This tutorial covers everything you need to get things going. It links to other pages when necessary. Cool. Install Kitty, the default terminal emulator. This is available in most distros or repositories. Pretty sure that's what this is. Please take a look at the NVIDIA page before launching. It has information regarding the needed environment and tweaks. Okay, let's just have a quick look at that. There is no official Hyprland support for NVIDIA hardware. However, many people have succeeded. Did I just terminate that by accident? Um, no, we're done. Cool. We do have a NVIDIA card on this computer, although I think we are fine. Oh, I'm just gonna keep moving. I'll come back to this if there's like a unknown problem and I don't know what's going on. I'll assume it might be the NVIDIA card. Launching Hyprland. Hyprland can be executed by typing start Hyprland in your terminal. If you're adventurous and on system D, da 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 da. Cool. Let's check out the. You know what? One of the first things I want to get installed on my terminal is gonna be. Well, first let's get a different terminal. I want to use Alacrity. Let's check if we can get that. Alacrity. Is that how you spell it? Pretty sure. Let's double check. Oh, let me just zoom in on the terminal for you guys. So, there we go. So yeah, as we can see, we've got Alacrity here. That was the right spelling. Let's install Alacrity, and let's go to .config hyper, and then hyperlink config. Sorry, not just vim into that, and let's change our terminal from Kitty to Alacrity. There we go. Menu Wofi show drun. Okay. Cursor size, da da da. Look and feel. Rounding. Window global. Blah, blah, blah. Just having a little look around. Input sensitivity, that's nice. It's a bit fast. Yeah, it's definitely a bit fast. Now that we're here, let's sorry, let me just dang bro, I'm so used to using Helix instead of Vim. I forgot what the commands are. I'll just okay, let's go to 0.7, see if that's a bit better. Yeah, it's definitely better. Oh, apparently I made a mistake. Let's undo. That's way too fast, man. Is this doing anything? Is this the right setting? I think so. No, it's not. So nothing's happening, guys. Um, I'll worry about that later. Da, 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 da. Remove this line to remove the warning. Okay, let's take our first big step, guys. How do I delete a select a line in Vim again? Dang it, bro. Vim select line. Shift V, what's really? Was that it? How did I forget that, bro? Cool, we got the warning gone. Hey, alright, looks a lot better. Cool, so we should be launching into Alacrity now when we launch our terminal again. And yes, we do indeed start in Alacrity. So let's see. So we've got Alacrity installed. Let's get Yazi and Zoxide just so we can uh, use the term like jump around the files more ergonomically because that's what we're used to. So let's check it out. Zoxide, um, smarter CD command field terminal. That seems correct. Let's install that. And if I remember, there's a little bit of setup that you need to do with Zoxide. To get it working. So if I do Z now, yeah, command not found. Yeah, I need to add that to my bash RC. Let's see if it let's see if we can just do Z. Yeah, it doesn't work. Okay. So let's vim into our .bash RC and paste. Yeah, that's how you paste in Vim. There we go. Cool. And then we do source dot bash rc. Cool, and Z works. Okay. So let's cd into config, and now we can just Z into con. Yeah, it works. We jumped into config. There we go. So we can see. Okay, so let's get Yazi installed next. Okay, let's check out Yazi. Yeah, got it over there. Oh, beautiful. What? Okay, we've got Yazi set up. next thing we want to do is let's get our Helix set up. So we don't have to use Vim anymore. Cool. Yeah, there's some setup we need to do to get Helix working as well. Okay. Introduction. I think we're fine. I think the only thing I'm missing is setting up an alias for it. So let's do -rc, and we'll make a section called aliases. Cool. And we'll replace that with this. Okay, and we'll move this out of there. And here we go. Alias Helix. Cool. Helix not found. Okay, works. Cool. We've got that sorted. Let's We've got Yazi, we've got Zoxide, we've got Helix. Next thing we want to do is probably set the font for configure our Alacrity terminal a bit, set the font. So let's go into our configs and I don't see a Alacrity config. Let's say Alacrity. Okay, Alacrity doesn't create the config for you. Let's create our own config. So we'll go Helix alacrity.toml. I'm a bit lazy, so I might set the font size. Something huge for the stream. 24. Is that too big? Oh, um, okay, that's nice and big. I think that looks good. Um, Okay, we've got our alacrity size set. Pretty happy with that for now. Let's just see alacrity themes. Done. Make their alacrity themes. Git clone. This seems good. I think this is what I used last time. Let's run the code. Boom. Okay. And then let's edit our alacrity config and import themes. Dang it. Surely we could just delete all of this. Right. Let's try it like that first and then fix it afterwards. And then we want to go themes. Why do we have themes twice? And then you guys are gonna hate it, but we're gonna go for solarized light. Or gravbox light. There we go. And let's see what it looks like. Boom. There we go. And then we want to do the same for Helix. So it's going to Helix just to open config. And then we go to Helix config theme. Alright, so Helix themes. Let's make a directory, themes. Let's extract this. Uh, delete that. Cool, I think that's it. Let's copy all of that over to our themes folder. Let's go to our config, Helix, themes, and paste. And then let's go back to downloads and just delete that. There we go. Cool. I wonder, does that mean I could just, can be added to this directory? To install the theme, simply copy it to that directory. Symlink the whole Okay, and how do I use the theme in the config? Pretty sure I can just do config open and then let's go here, Helix themes. And then just do theme equals. Go. Grav. Surely they got grav box. Yeah. Light. And then let's do a reload config. And nothing happens. Interesting. Let's see. We know the path is right. I just think this might be the wrong way to specify which theme we have. But apparently this is the right way. Yeah. Oh, I don't specify a path. It automatically detects all the paths in the themes subdirectory. I should just reference it by name, I guess. I guess it would be called just that. Let's do config reload. Yeah, there we go. Worked. Let's try medium. Yeah, medium's a bit nicer. Cool. Now we matched our terminal and our text editor themes. Yeah. I have to run for a quick second. I'll be back. I'll be back in, should be less than 5 minutes, not even. I don't think it's worth restarting the stream just for that. Cool. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, we're back. See if everything's still looking healthy. Yep. Okay, we've got Helix set up, we've got our terminal set up, kind of. I'd still like to fix the font, change the font, but it's good enough for now. Or is it? Let's see. Installing fonts, ArchLinux, ArchWiki, fonts. Da, 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 da. Various methods for installing fonts. Available fonts may be found by querying packages for font or TTF. Okay, let's see. Font. Yep. I think we do have some fonts going on right here. Hmm. Let's try this one, TTF Roboto. I didn't know they had the links right here. That's nice. Maybe it shows us a nice little preview over here. Well, I guess not. Link's not working. See if this link works. Okay, we can just go to user local and start adding fonts over there. But let's try one of these first. We've got ttf-fira-code. Let's see how that looks. ttf-fira-code. Just double check. I've lost it. Can't see it, man. Let's Google it first. ttf-fira-code. Looks alright. Let's give it a try. Failed retrieving file ttf code from Sydney Mirror. Could not resolve host. Fatal error from blah 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 blah. Okay. It does seem like I got it installed anyways. I'm not sure what this whole error thing is. How do I check ArchLinux check installed fonts? FC list, FC-list, help. Okay, let's do brief. Oof. We've got Fira Mono Nerd Font Bold. Let's do that again, but grep for Fira. Nothing? What? Is it case sensitive? Yeah. I didn't know that. Got Fira Mono Nerd Font Medium. Fira Code Semi-Bold. What? So this one's just called Pheromono Nerd Font. Pheromono Nerd Font Medium. Bada. Okay, I'll try this one. Let's see if it works. So I'll grab that, copy, and let's try it in Helix. Let's do config, open. Just change the terminal font and Helix will do the same. Okay. Cool. We'll do that. Okay, so we've got set the normal font. Let's just zoom in a bit here so you guys can see a bit better. So we'll set the normal font family to let's just add that, comment that out. So we've got it for reference. So we want the family name and then the style. So the family name is probably this, right? And then we've got the style. Okay, there we go. Style is medium. Yank. Cool. What else is there? Should be fine. Yeah, it worked. Awesome. That was quick. I don't know if they had hot reloading for the terminal config. Cool. That's awesome. Mm, do I need to specify all of these extra ones? Or will it automatically know which one to take? Let's see. What do we do? FC dash fonts font uh, FC list, and then we grabbed for Fira. So we took Fira Mono, nerd font, Fira Mono font, nerd font, bold. You know what? I'll just leave it. Just leave it for now. Let's try Fira code. Make a copy, and then seem about the same. Okay. See how this looks on the phone. Can you read this size font? Or is that a bit tiny for you guys? I'll up it just a little bit. Let's put it on 20. There we go. Cool. Okay, we've got a font installed for our terminal. And text editor. I actually don't like how it looks in like printing large blocks of text out, but um, that'll have to do for now. It's good enough. Let's just keep going. Could always fix it later. I'm not going to be too perfectionistic about the setup for now. Okay, so I've got that sorted. Let's just see if I can get some ls command aliases, some useful ones. Because I don't want to type out ls-a and all this stuff all the time. That's interesting. Let's try that. Let's try asking ChatGPT to just provide a useful list. Um, just hop back to home and do Helix HRC. I wonder what this is up here. Um, no clue what this is. Let's just put this at the top. Um, and let's add all of those and check out the results. We'll source our bash rc. And it's working. What else did we have? LT, LA. Hide. This is the this is the previous script I ran to set up my Hyprland for me, my ArchLinux. So let's just see what they had for their thing, because that's the one I used, and I really don't want to relearn different ones. Let's see. Configs. Ta-da. I use Heza. Okay, let's see what is come on. Let's just look it up here. It's already installed. I don't even know what that is, but okay, we've got that. Let me just copy whatever we've got here for all our commands. Okay. Let's remove those. And paste those. And let's just uncomment all of that. Cool. Yeah, that's the way I like it. That's the way I like it. Beautiful. Okay, we've got that back to the way we used to. That's huge. And I'm considering also using these little other helper aliases to get the AUR to run the AUR commands. But yeah, I think it's fine for now. Let's close this up. Cool. Okay, so I think we're pretty much done on the terminal side of things. I might be missing one or two things, but overall I think we're good. For setting up our terminal, and we've got all the basics. We've got Zoxide installed. We can hop around with that. So if I try to jump to downloads, it says no match found. But once I've been there once, now I can jump there with Zoxide. So we've got that set up. We've got Yazi for easy file management in the terminal. We've got Helix set up for editing our text files. So yeah, we could do helix.bashrc. You've already seen that. And we edited the theme for Helix and our terminal to both be Gravbox Lite, Medium, and we've got a font for our terminal. So we've already got a bit done. We've also set up, of course, some useful aliases for commands that we like to run. Let me just put this one at the end. And now next thing we want to do is fix our refresh rate, because this is a, I don't know, 165 hertz monitor, something like that. And it's definitely going at a slow refresh rate at the moment. So let's go over to our configs, and what we want to do is edit edit a Hyprland config. So let me go. Monitors, see the monitors section. Here, that's where we are. Preferred auto. For our scale, we'll leave that as is. Our resolution needs to be at 1440p. I cannot remember what that looks like. 1440p is 2560. Okay, so we've got 2560 by 1440p. And we want to run that at 165 hertz. Oof. And we've got problems. No, it works. Dang, I almost thought I broke the screen, and then I realized, how am I gonna keep streaming if I need to restart? Okay, that worked. That's very cool. Let's do what they said and run the command to check which monitors we do have on this computer. So we do have there you can see we've got 165 at, I mean it's a 1440p 165 hertz monitor. The monitor is called DP-3. Okay, so we want to call it DP-3, and let's be very specific and do the actual refresh rate listed over here. 165.0108, and seems to have worked. So if we change that back down again to like, let's say 20, just to troll a bit. Yeah, I just wanted to check if it identified the correct monitor. And it did. Cool. Okay, that's huge. Sucks being on low refresh rate. And now what we need is to set our mouse speed. So not sure if that's part of Hyprland or if that's a setting on ArchLinux itself. I'm pretty sure it should be part of Hyprland. Let's ask ChatGPT because I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'm using Arch plus Hyprland. How do I change my mouse speed? There we go. Okay, so this is what we edited earlier, and for some reason it didn't work. So let's just look for sensitivity. Here we go. Range -1 to 1. Negative slower, positive faster. That is so weird, man. That is like, I guess it's minus percentage and plus percentage. So we're working from a base value of. Sorry, my mic cut out. So we're working from a default speed and want to go a bit slower, so we want to go negative 30% or something like that. Say negative 40%. Okay, that works. And then if we had it positive, it should go a lot faster. Yeah, that's okay. That's an interesting way to set movement speed for the mouse. Okay, keyboard layout US. Yeah, that's correct. Cool. Cool. We got our monitor set up now and our mouse speed. Pretty happy with that. One last thing I would like to do is um, have a key to quit a window. Um, hmm. Oh, it's Control C by default. Okay. Quit active. Ooh, that looks nice. Um, main modem to exit Hyprland. I don't really ever want to do that, but I'll leave it for now. We've got our file manager on E. That's good. What even is this file manager though? Um, that's disgusting. File manager. Dolphin. That doesn't look like Dolphin. Is that Dolphin? Dang, bro. We need to do some configuration here later on. It's fine for now though. Um, we have a terminal on Q, and then do we have anything on let's see, main mod T? Doesn't look like it. Um, okay, so let's change this to T, because I'm used to using that. And there we go. This all seems very... Okay, V is for toggling floating. And then R... Ooh, it's for our menu. Let's see. It's in browser. Cool. That's cool. That's very cool. Then we've got main mod P for to change the dwindle. Okay, I'm guessing that's when you have Okay, yeah, it changes something. I don't know what that does. Uh, and then we've got mod J for toggling split. Okay, that one I'm used to. That looks sick. Um, and was there a mod to main mod is toggle work special? Toggle special workspace. Ooh, that's cool. Main mod shift is move to workspace special. Okay. Okay, that's good enough for now. Let me just go back to hide. Um, I want to see they had a command for grouping windows and then switching between them. I just want that, and then I'm done. As far as I can tell, that should be it. Okay, we've got Hyprland, keybinds. Yeah, toggle group. So we want that. Um, oh. Focus with main modern arrow keys. Okay. Let's just get our grouping working. Mod G toggle group. Where was it? Yeah, toggle space group. What? It works. There we go. Now how do I switch between there? I kind of want to take those. Let's see. Copy and paste. I don't know what all of this is right here. No clue, but I'm just gonna delete it. And I think it's fine. And yeah, it works. Cool. That's what we expected. Cool. Okay, we've got grouping for Windows. I can do main mod G, add a bunch of windows into the same group. As you can see, they're all grouped together. Um, and I should be able to ungroup. Yeah, that works. Cool. So I think that's it. I think that's it for our keybinds. We've got that set up for the most part. Um, and yeah, pretty happy with that. And I think we're pretty much sorted to get started with our coding stuff. So what we want to do next is I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's everything we need to have a good workflow. I don't have a title bar yet to tell the time or anything like that. But I'm actually kind of fine without it for now. So let's just get started and start getting the dependencies installed on our system so we could start working in Godot and Rust to make some games. Okay, so let's get Rust installed. Rust, the programming language, not the game. Get started, install. There we go. It's just one little command, which is one of my favorite things. Just run that and you start getting Rust installed. Looks like you have an existing installation of Rust. Okay, I think the other account on this computer does have Rust installed. If you're sure that you want both Rust up and you already installed Rust, please type vara vara vara. Okay. Hey, we do have Rust up. Okay, so since it's installed on the other account on this computer, I think it seems like we're good to go with that. Let's go and create a new directory called projects. Well, let's just make sure we're in our home directory first. There we go. Let's cd into projects. And let's see, just do a quick test to see if our Rust is working. So we'll do cargo, cargo new, and we'll call it hello world. Rustup could not choose a version of cargo to run because one wasn't specified explicitly and no default is configured. Run Rustup default stable. Okay. So Rustup and Rust were installed globally for all the user accounts on this computer, but it seems some of the dependencies for that haven't been installed, and some of the default configurations haven't been, like yes, like defaults haven't been set, whatever that means. Cool. I think we're good to go. Let's try again. Cargo new hello world. There we go. We've got our hello world directory. Let's go into that. And let's do a cargo run. And there we go. It works. Awesome. Okay, that's Rust done. Let's get Godot installed. I actually think Godot was in the AUR. So we should be able to just search for it and install it via our package manager. Yeah, here we've got Godot, already installed. Okay. Let's see if we can run it. And we can. Cool. Okay, that was installed globally as well. Let's change the display scale to like 150. Hopefully that's a bit easier to see on the stream as well. And let's create a new project. Let's call it test game. Armor Storms first. Cool, and we'll put that in projects. Let's create a new, within projects, that's where I like to put all my work. Let's create a new folder called Godot. Actually, yeah, let's create a new folder called test project. Uh, Set up test project to set up a whole Linux configuration to test it. We'll call it test project. Select this folder. Let's just call it set test. And click create. And we've got some strangeness going on with our rendering, as you can see. Look at that. That's fine because we're gonna use we're gonna use um, Godot for 2D only. There we go, full screen. And now that we've got Godot and Rust installed, let's see if we can get Rust into our Godot project and create our own little custom node and see it working. I'll put my Godot on workspace number 3 and my code on workspace number 1. So let's go into Yazi. We have our Hello World project. We want to delete that. And we want to go into our setup test project. And we want to do cargo new lib. And we want to call it, let's just call it Rust stuff. And that'll be the name of a library. Let's call it, yeah, Rust stuff. Cool. Now we have if we go into Rust stuff and we do cargo build, yep, it works. See that we just have a template Rust library created for us. And this is exactly where we want to start off when we work with Rust and Godot. So we just make a default library, and then once we have that, we can start following the guide on the Go.Rust website. So we'll go over to the book. And let me just zoom in. That's quite small for you guys. And then over here, we'll just follow our Hello World tutorial. Cool. So we already have our directory set up the way they tell you to. You have a super directory, and then you have your two project directories for your Godot project and then your Rust project. We already have that. One thing they want us to add is, see, we already ran this command. We already created our Rust library. And then one thing they want us to do is change the library type to a dynamic library, which is something, um, which is what we'll be compiling to in order for Godot to be using our library live. Um, so how it works in my mind is that Godot builds your game, and then it also packages in the library you make with your Rust code, and it knows how to use that library because it follows um, it has the correct API as specified by the Godot engine, and it can from there load all your um, custom nodes and things like that on the fly when the program runs. Um, that might be completely wrong now that I think about it. I'm still a noob. I'm still trying to learn, but yeah, we definitely need to grab this and tell our cargo project that we want it to be a dynamic library. There we go. Okay, the next step is to add Godot as a dependency, the Godot crate. So if we go to crates.io, we'll see that this is what we just added, the Godot crate. Cool. We have everything set up with our configuration for our, like our writing out the manifest for our Rust project. Next thing we need to do is actually add some content to our Rust project. So what we'll do is, well, that comes next. Over here, you'll see that we can go over here and we need to create a entry point for our library. This way Godot knows how to how to read our code and compile the custom nodes we define and all of that good stuff. So we define a unsafe implementation for our my extension struct implementing the extension library, and then they have a macro over here called GD extension, which I'm assuming generates a whole bunch of code. Yeah, this is what we need to get started. And then from here, what we can do is create our own mods, like let's call it mod player. And once we have that, we can go into our player mod and we can actually add in our first custom node from the example. And as you can see, the custom node uses the sprite 2D. We'll leave that. We'll just do a node 2D. There we go. We're having a bit of a problem. Class player requires either an init constructor or a bada. Okay, we'll divide. We'll just say that for now. I won't be explaining anything now. We're just trying to see if our setup works. But yeah. So what we have here is we're creating our own custom script, own custom node that extends node 2D. So if this was GDScript, it would probably look something like this. You'd say extends node 2D at the top of your script, and that's it. We don't have any export variables. But yeah, this is kind of the equivalent of what's happening here in GDScript if we were doing GDScript, but we're working in Rust, which is awesome. Just for fun, I'm going to make this an export variable just to show you guys. There we go. We can set our speed over here, and what we want to do is implement player, and we want to say over here go.api if I remember. And over here I can do I can actually implement the ready function. Let's just see, we've got I'm trying to see where to see all the callbacks, like the ready function, the physics process, the process, all of those functions you can override right here in Rust. Just trying to remember how to do that. I think it was I need to implement inode for my player. So they made a custom type and just added I in the front of it, or like a trait. Yeah, you can see, so for the node 2D trait, I need to implement the inode 2D. I mean, for the node 2D struct, I need to, yeah, it's a struct. I need to implement the inode 2D trait in order to override um, methods like the ready function and the process function and stuff like that. So what I want to do is I just want to write out my ready function, and we've got Here we go. It was here all along. I don't know why I just didn't check it out. Okay, so as you can see, we can implement this trait. It has default implementations for all of these, um, which just I think they're all empty. But you can choose to override some of them and write some of your own logic, just like you would in GDScript. Um, write out your own ready method or override the process method and stuff like that. It works just the same. In GDScript, you also inherit the ready function, and you can you can override it. You can override the default logic for that. So if by default, the ready function has no implementation, but if let's say I make my own Godot class that inherits from node 2D, and I call it animal, I give it a class name and I call it animal, and in the ready function, I just write out something like print hello world. If I make another node and that extends animal and I call it something like dog or whatever, and in the ready function I type in print hello world from dog, it will never print out hello world where I overrode it in the animal class. So it takes the latest version of the function that you fill out. But we're kind of mimicking that over here in Rust using a trait. Okay, so we want to just copy that signature. Well, it's pretty basic, just function ready, take a mutable reference to ourself, and then you can start writing code. And that will be called when ready would have been called in GDScript. So we'll do mute self, no return type. And over here, we'll just do a print hello world from Rust. And let's do another one. Our speed is currently set to and then we print out the speed. Cool, so now we've made a node, we're calling it player, or we can call it anything we like. Let's call it my custom player node, or just leave it at player, whatever. Just know the names don't really matter. But yeah, we've made our own node, call it player, and we've added an export variable called speed, and we can set this, we should be able to see this node when we open Godot if everything's set up correctly, and change the speed, and when the game runs we should be seeing this printed out for every node that we put in our scene. Okay, so we've got some code done. Let's do a cargo build. There we go. First time we build the projects, it's going to take a minute. It's just compiling all of the dependencies we have. And then I'll go on to follow the rest of the tutorial where we tell Godot where to look for Rust, um, our Rust output, the compiled Rust binary, or whatever you call it. So we'll go back to setup or hello world, and you'll see that we already did this. We created a Rust project, a Rust crate, added Godot as dependency, the Godot crate. We made sure to say that our crate is a dynamic library, and we also added some actual code to make a custom node inside of our Rust project. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure to tell Godot that it needs to go and look for our Rust library, the dynamic library we just built. So as you can see, we're done building. And now if I go in here and I go to target debug, you'll see that we've generated a librust underscore stuff.so file. And this is our dynamically linked library that Godot's going to use. So what we want to do now is we're going to go into our Godot project and create a new file called anything.gd extension. So we'll just call it ruststuff.gd extension. That should be fine. Let's see. Did I spell extension correctly? No extension with an S. That should be good. Oh, dang it. We're still using oh, Yazi still uses Vim when we open text files through it. It's fine for now. Just gotta remember to change that later. So we'll copy this, and in our GD extension file, we just paste it out. And for some reason, we didn't copy some of the characters, but that's okay, I guess. And what we want to do next is replace this your crate with the name of our Rust library. I'm just going to leave Vim and open this up in Helix. So we'll open up setup test and then we'll call it Rust stuff. There we go. Okay, so we're looking for everything in there. Let's search for it, select it, and then we'll change all of this at the same time. Our library was called Rust stuff, and that should be all we need to do. What it's looking for in our Rust project is up here, GD extension Rust in it. I think this stuff gets generated with the macro that we have in our Rust library. But yeah, so what we did now is we told Godot where to look for our Rust project output, the dynamic library that Rust just creates when we run our cargo build command. I think this is incorrect though. It shouldn't just be Rust up here. That's not the right directory. It's Rust stuff. That's what we called it. And let's just test it. No, I think that's right. Yeah. So now everything should just work. We've created a Rust project. We added Godot as a dependency. We said the project should be a dynamic library. We've added our Rust entry point according to the tutorial. All of this code, just these lines here, total of 4 lines. Then we've added our own custom node called player, and then we ran cargo build, and that created the dynamic library right over here. And we told Godot how to come and look for this specific file, where to find it. So as you can see here, we told Godot, go look in Rust stuff, target, release. I think we're doing this one, Linux debug, the very top one. So go look in our Rust stuff project under target debug librust underscore stuff.so. And that's exactly what we want. So if you go to Rust stuff target debug, you get librust underscore stuff.so. And now Godot should be able to find and load our Rust project and see that custom node we just defined. So let's head over to Godot. And what we need to do is reload the current project and then Godot should be able to detect our library. I'll just ignore that. That doesn't seem like a problem for us. Vulkan rendering, context driver, error, something like that. So we'll create a new scene. We'll call it main. And we'll just save that as main.tscn. Set it as our main scene. And let's create a child node. And our node should pop up in here now, the custom node we made. So if we type in player, you'll see that here it is. Our very own node we made in Rust for Godot. That is absolutely awesome. Click create on that. And as you can see, we can set the speed of our player, the variable, and when we run it, it should print out what we set over here. In the ready function, our player prints out hello world from Rust, and then our speed is currently set to, and then it prints out the speed. So let's run the project, and the speed should be 0.123. And there we go, we got it. Hello world from Rust. Our speed is currently set to 0.123. And that's it, guys. That's how there we just made our first ever Godot and Rust project. So we've got that set up. The next thing we want to do is make sure that we can compile to Android. That's a bit harder. I think I'll leave that for a next stream. As you can hear, my voice is gone because I'm a bit sick. And yeah, next time we should be able to get to the point where our project just runs via live debug mode, this button over here, onto our phone, our Android phone. And we should be all set up to start developing Android games using Godot and Rust. Okay, that's all from me, guys. God bless. Merry Christmas. Thanks heaps for watching, and see you again next time, and we'll get the Android stuff sorted out then, hopefully. And I hope you have a great day. See ya.